Shalom, shalom. This is this is Rakah at the Lions Den camp in Jacksonville, Florida. Going live from Lake Apopka, located around Orlando, Kissimmee, that area. Um, this is gonna be a sit down lesson. Found me a nice park with some nice traffic, and hopefully this lesson is edifying. But I want to start off by giving all praises and glory to the Most High and to His Son, in the proper names. Call Halayam La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Hawakah, Kodash, Ramaf. So, the topic of this lesson is going to be the Lord's name, because so many people haven't heard the Lord's name yet, and there's still many more people needs to hear the Lord's name. And so this is milk precept, but still pretty good. It's good. Um, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and verse 4. It reads, "Who have ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who have gathered the wind in his fist? Who have bound the waters in a garment? Who have established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, that thou canst tell?" So it's very important to know the son's name is alongside with the father's name, which is Yahweh, and the son's name being Yahushua. Because without those names, how can we call on them to be saved? How can we get that? How can we get salvation? How can we get redemption? You know, we have to know where our grace is through. You know, um, our grace is through something, through someone. It's through the Lord Yahweh and His Son Yahushua. Um, and that's why it's so important for His men to go out throughout the four corners of the earth and teach and to lift up a banner upon a high mountain and to exalt the name of Yahweh and His Son Yahushua. That's why it's so important. Because if someone doesn't do it, then how can it says that. Actually, let me grab that. 1 second. Let me grab it. This isn't a one, but I mean, it still kind of goes hand in hand. Joel 2:1, blow you the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So that day cometh, that day is coming where the Lord He's gonna set forth His judgment. So it also said in Revelation 7, which I'm gonna get. It's a reason why the Lord is holding back the destroying wind, the calamities, the woe. It's a reason why He's doing that. He's doing that because of this right here. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things, I saw four angels standing um, on the four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor any tree, And I saw another angel come. So it says that it shall not blow on the earth, right? It says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having a seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice, with a loud, with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, "Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads." So that's really what it's about. You know, it's about being sealed in the foreheads, meaning your mind, right? Having that locked down, because um like I said, man, the elder always says it. The elder Einstein kept always says it. He says, "Each one, reach one, teach one." Each brother is a doorway to the Lord, and the Lord is going to use each brother to bring in more souls, right, into the fold, to subscribe and to subscribe themselves to the name of Israel, to be able to rehearse the righteous acts, to be able to call upon the Lord and actually know where their grace is through. You know, who are they getting grace from? You know, what is the proper name? That's what it's about. Um, so the Lord said, "What? He's holding back everything else, all the destruction, all everything that you could possibly think of, all the calamities, the warnings, the woes right now, until He has sealed each and last one of His servants. And once He does that, that's when He's going to unleash the winds, destroying winds. But how can somebody be called back if they don't know what the message is, what the calling's for? In the old times, they always used to have different sounds for different things. You used to trumpets for celebrations. You used to blow it for maybe Passover, all these different things. But now this is the trumpet that we blow to let people know that and make themselves ready, right? Make themselves ready. So let me go back to the book of Joel, and then I'm gonna grab the actual precept I was looking at, get the first time. Um, this is Joel 2:1. Blow you the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. So sound an alarm, right? So that alarm is meant for warning, warning of the things to come and the things that's gonna happen, things to be. And it says, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So that day is coming, and it's coming quick. Yeah. It also says that in Habakkuk, which I'm gonna get later, it says, though Terry, wait for it. Um, it's the precept. Uh, bear with me out there. I'm trying to see where I'm gonna start from. On the Bethel. Uh, this is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 19. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So, and that's the reason why, a lot of people say, they desire the day of the Lord. They're waiting for judgment day. They're waiting for the Lord to come back. A lot of people say these things. And we say it a lot too. We say, hey man, everyone has to make themselves ready for the return of Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. And a lot of people desire that day, but they don't know what that day consists of. That day consists of nothing but troubles and perilous times. I can look at this. Hopefully I can catch it. Hopefully. Look at this. So look, I love that sucker right there. Man. Sitting here listening. um, but yeah. A lot of people desire the day of the Lord, but uh, people don't realize that the day of the Lord is not in the darkness. People think it's going to be instantaneous, it's going to be quick, it's going to be short, but it's not, man. It's going to be a process that everyone go through, and and you have to know who's sending it, who's the one that's setting these times ahead, because you know who's sending the times ahead, and you know exactly how um to make yourself ready, you know. And the person that's sending the times ahead, he also told you the way that you can escape out of it. So, like, what more else, you know? What more else, you know? So, and it also says, yeah, that uncertain sound, man. You can't have a trumpet that's uncertain sound, and you're warning the people the wrong thing. 'Cause if you think about it, everything has a warning. Everything you do has a warning, you know. And everything has an instruction, and everything has the exact way that you need to follow whatever that is you are set to do. Every single thing. A little bit of chasing telling. Yeah, and but a lot of our people, man, they choose not to know the ways of the Lord. Yahweh Shema Shai. They choose not. They choose not. We grab this. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1, verse verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master his crib. Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. So our people don't consider the ways of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, and those are the ones that hearken to the sounds that are not of the true message. And that's the dangers of following the wrong trumpet and being, making moves in haste, you know. Because then you don't know exactly who it is that you're, who's sending, who's warning. Even the slightest pitch can throw off the message. And and in a sense, that's the same way how doctrine is. Doctrine follows the same thing as a sound. Just as you have a song, a song is supposed to be perfectly played, man, played to a T. And that song perfectly played to a T, any off note can throw up the song. So that's the reason why it's so important to be on the P's and Q's to be able um to be able to interpret the message and to make yourself ready. Everybody has to make themselves ready. Everybody's making themselves ready for something, whether whether that's something for good, whether that's something for bad. Everybody has something that they're looking forward to, and they're getting right by, and then they're listening to. Um, let's see. Um, oh yeah, next precept is in John. So this is the book of John, chapter 4, verse 22. This is John 4 and 22, and it reads, um, "Ye worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of Jude." So as we know that salvation is of the Jews, and um, there's many videos speaking on just going into the milk of everything on you know who the Jews are. What is the God of the Jews? What's his name? What's his son's name? Which is Yahweh, and his son name is Yahweh. All these things, and we know what we worship, because if we know who we worship, we also know who's the caller. You know who he's calling, and we also know exactly what he's sending, and that's the point. That's the point of everything, right? Because without it, we wouldn't have what we have today, which is life, grace, spiritual awakening, being quickened. We wouldn't be able to be quickened, if we didn't know who was sending this. If we didn't know who the Lord was. He breathed life into us, and because it also says that in Revelations, it said, "Go ahead and grab this." Yeah, man, because it said he breathed life into us, man. Because these other nations, they didn't suffer us to have rest, but the Lord always found a way. The Lord always found a way for us. Um, it's right here somewhere. Uh, 1 second. I'll give 1 second. Uh, okay. Yeah, here it is. Uh, so this is the book of Revelation, chapter 9, 11, chapter 11, um, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And this place, Babylon, which is uh, America today. These are the same people reincarnated that crucified our Lord, Yahushua. It says, and they are the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So these other nations, they seen the children of Israel in slavery, and we saw us destitute of wisdom, destitute of understanding, destitute of identity, uh, all these different things. And they didn't suffer us to have rest. They didn't suffer us to know the truth. Uh, and that same exact thing is still a curse that's on our people today. And they didn't allow us to have that rest, man. And the Lord and of course that is because went off before time. But the Lord has called his chosen back to him. And Esau and these other nations, they couldn't keep back the Lord's spirit. They couldn't keep it back. Um, um, kind of. So they didn't suffer us to have rest. They didn't allow us to know who our first love is, right? Let me grab this precept. Bear with me out here. Because usually most times, man, we're supposed to have a teacher. We're supposed to be taught the right ways, and taught the way to be. Because everything is in a matter of teaching. And that's the reason why the Lord had us to learn, to turn back and learn. And that's the way that the Lord set it up, through education. Um, Actually, I guess I can kind of bring this up. I mean, it's not the precept that I'm looking for, but This is the book of Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which will be the first principles of oracles of Yahweh, and are become such as need of milk, strong meat. Everyone that uses milk is unskillful. Okay, no, that's not the precept. That's not the one that I thought. Right. Just kind of switch gears, and the topic of the lesson was the Lord's name. Who is the Lord? What is His Son's name? You know, because we look at all the things of old and we see all the things that's written in the scriptures, even in the Old Testament and the Apocrypha, even in the New Testament, all of it builds to a point. It builds to a point of understanding that the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, and that he can give life and he can take it, whether that's spiritually or physically, and he controls it all. He controls it all. Um, he controls it from the top to the bottom, top to bottom. I grab this real quick. Just a quick side note, precept. Oh, oh, all right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste time for trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased and not last end. So, depart not away from the Lord's words. Don't do it, man. No, don't. And we look at the things of old, and we see the things of old, and see who all. Um, actually, let me just keep going on it. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state. Right? It says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in Him, and He will help thee. Order thy way right, and trust in Him." So we trust in Him because He is the way that we learn more about Him. You know, through that fear, and through fear, we're so careful, very very calculated with the way that we learn about Him. I mean, the way that we learn his name, the way that we learn his son's name, the way that we learn the Paleo Hebrew, learn prayers to be able to rehearse the righteous acts and to turn back and repent to him, to know what the script that he has for us, what is set, what does he want us to do in the meantime? What is our calling? What gifts have he given us so we can also give to others? And all these things are a part of the plan. All these things are a part of the plan. Because have you seen any um people to make time, man? So that was the point. And Sirach, yeah, that was that point. And Sirach as well, just to kind of go up into some of the getting milk scriptures. 3 days and a half, man. All right, let me go ahead and bring this up. This is the book of First John, chapter 5, verse 1. Whosoever believe that Yahweh Shai is the anointed is born of Yahweh, and every one that loveth him that begat loveth him also that is begotten of him. By this we know that we love the children of Yahweh when we love Yahweh and keep his commandments. So that is love. That is love. And also tells you that in Ecclesiastes 12 and 12, I believe. So we love the Most High. We love Yahweh. We gotta love His Son, and we also gotta keep His commandment. Right? We have to do so. It says, "For this is the love of Yahweh, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not grievous." It's not. It says, "For whatsoever is born of Yahweh overcometh the world." This is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. So even our faith, man, we overcome the world because you see a lot of faithless uh, ideologies and faithless people in this world, and that's how you could tell the spiritually awakened from the spiritually dead. What are people? They have hope. What are people hoping in? What are their prayers about? It, it's so easy in Babylon to have this busybody mentality, but forgetting that we still have a holy connection to the Most High, Yahweh and His Son Yahweh. So we have to figure out, okay, yes, we're in this life, we're living, we have to work, we have to make money, we have to pay bills, but we also got to hope that the Lord can deliver us from ourselves. You know, because if the Lord deliver us from ourselves, then he helped us in the end because we can't keep nothing perfect. These bodies aren't meant to be perfect. Can't. These are the chains of darkness. But guess what? Yahweh Shai, he did it perfectly. And he did it so we can have grace and salvation. And that's why it's so important to know Yahweh Shai's name and to know Yahweh's name. That's why it's so important. Um, this is so it says verse 5. Who is he that overcometh the world? Like he that believeth that Yahweh Shai is the Son of Yahweh. So we overcome if we know that Yahweh Shai is the Son of Yahweh. We overcame through grace. We have that grace through Yahweh Shai. We turn back. We subscribe to the name of Israel, and we rehearse the righteous acts to the best of our ability. We look out for the prophecies. We measure the times by the sign, and we continue in the faith. We continue in the faith until we're called home. And when we're called home, the goal is always to know that we did everything in our utmost ability to keep everything right. Even though we can't, even though we can't, we tried our best. Because the Lord said, he said our righteousness is as filthy rags. Even though we can't keep it perfectly like Yahweh Shai did, man, we try our best, and even though it's filthy rags, man, it's the walk that counts. It's the walk that counts. We have to continue to keep walking, keep going on this journey, because once we keep walking and we keep continuing on this journey, then we can find other like-minded individuals that's on the same spiritual awakening as we were, and we are, and that's the best part about it. Yeah, I gotta show y'all this. Gotta show y'all this, man. Look at this, man. Look at this. Yeah, man. Lord, man, he made a beautiful planet, man. A beautiful planet that we can enjoy one day to the best, to our utmost ability. He's gonna allow us to. He's gonna allow us to. Uh, um, what did I leave off? Verse 6. This is he that came by water and blood, even Yahweh Shai, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit that bear witness, because the Spirit is truth. So the Lord, man, through the baptism of word, also through Yahweh Shai's sacrifice, man, world became through the washing of the word and through his sacrifice. And uh, that unspotted lamb, that sacrificial lamb, man, it's amazing. That's how we know that he's the son of Yahweh, man. Man, look, man, everything dude, just revolves around him. Look, this is the book Psalms 2 and 12. It says, kiss the Son, lest he be angry and ye perish from the way. When his wrath is kindled but a little, blessed are all they that put their trust in him. So, blessed are all they that put their trust in Yahweh Shah. And through Yahweh Shah, we get to Yahweh. Man, eh, I cannot stress this enough on how important it is to know Yahweh Shah's name and Yahweh's name. Because Yahweh Shah is the way that we get back to Yahweh. And you must know that. You must know that. Because of course, through faith, but we have to know that Yahweh Shai is the bridge between Yahweh and us, and that's why we're able to take part in life and uh, redemption from ourselves and in the latter end. See, it says okay, so that's too far on that. A bit too far. What was the other precept? Oh yeah, John first. 16, 17. This is the book of John, um, chapter 17, verse 9. I pray for them. Wait, yeah, I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine. So he said, I pray for them. I pray not for the world. And this world is talking about the entire, like all nations of people. Because once you get more and more in depth into the scriptures, um, you realize that you start to use etymologies like words. You start to really have to break down words in certain contexts because the Latin languages or like even languages today they use different words to describe different things and especially within the Greek. Within the Greek, you can have one word, one particular word. Let's say in this case, the word world. It could be the word world, but it could be three or four different meanings for it. And that's really, really important when it comes to the scriptures because you start to realize that um, these things are different. Each word is something different. That's why you have the concordance, you have the Strongs, you have the Greek, you also have the Hebrew, like the H141 or the, like e- each one of these are different, different words that have different meanings to them. And once you start deep diving into it, then you start to peel the layers back to the onion, and you see um, that these different words have different meanings, and that helps when it comes to the scriptures as well. Well, uh, this is John 17, verse 9. I pray for them. I pray not for the world, but for them which thou hast given me. They are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. So through us, he was glorified. Lord, he could have raised up stones to worship him, but the Lord used his people. He used the children of Israel, and it's not according to color, but according to bloodline. So he has his people that's gonna that's gonna glorify him, and that's who he's glorified. And it says, "And all mine are thine, thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, Holy Father, keep through thy own names those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are one." And that's the point, right? To be in unison as Yahweh Shai and Yahweh is in unison. Because it speaks about that in Revelations 22, where it says that speaking about wisdom, in the flow of wisdom, right? The flow of wisdom comes from Yahweh to Yahweh Shai, and it's from Yahweh Shai to the 12, uh, and to the 12, I think it says disciples in there, or the 12 men of fruits, or basically just the 12 tribes, the elect. But um, yeah, man, so that's how it is. He dispersed it from Yahweh, flowing into Yahweh Shai, flowing into his chosen. You know, when Yahweh Shai was on the earth, he was a well for the disciples. And that same as that well, we have that today. We have all of that today, man. The entire thing. And it's still going on today, man. The same exact wisdom, that esoteric wisdom that was given back then, that Yahweh Shai gave to the 12 disciples. Um verse 12. It says, "While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name. Those that thou gavest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scripture might be fulfilled." So, as the Lord has kept all of those that was in thy name, except for the son of perdition, of course, for Judas Iscariot, but it was only for prophecy. It was only for prophecy. And the Lord also said that he wished that he didn't, he doesn't lose none. Okay. And it says, "And now come I to thee, and these things I spake in the world, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves." So that we may have joy fulfilled in themselves, man. It's a very joyous thing to hear the truth, to know it's the truth, be able to continue in that, continue in the ways of Yahushua, and being able to see him as an example and to follow after his footsteps to the best of our abilities. Because of course we could walk after him, but we'll never be able to fill up his shoes or to fill in into his spot. 'Cause that's something only Yahushua can do. But we can see him as a mentor and as a role model. And Yahweh as the father that has set up Yahushua to be to be that light, that light at the end of the tunnel, to be that burning bright chariot and in the midst of night of pitch black darkness, so we can see our way out of here, out of the valley of the shadow of death, man. Um, that sounds like the damn Android thing. Um, it says, "I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world." So he has given us his word, and the world ended up hating us, or hate us because they realize that because we're not of the world. Because everything consort to its likeness. If darkness sees another, darkness is going to cleave into itself. But if darkness sees light, the darkness scatters. And it's the same way in the truth. We see the things of the world and of the dark, and us being the light, as the Lord said we are. Man, we just we push back the BS. You know, Um, it says, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but thou shalt keep us them from the evil. So not that he take us out, but no, that he keep us from those things, man. Keep us from perilous times and troublous times, man. I mean, keep us from it, you know. Because through that, that's how the Lord shows his strength. The Lord shows his strength in times of sorrow and darkness. That's the way that the Lord does it. Um, they are not of the world, even as I'm not of the world. Sanctify them through that truth. That word is true. So we're sanctified through the truth. And this word is true. It's the light. It's the light that guides us through the darkness. It also says in Psalms that this is like a lamp or light unto my path. So we could be able to see what we're stepping over and what we're getting ourselves what we're getting ourselves into. You know, the he's um what helped King David around the mountain. The Saul was chasing him. You know, and it's the same way that he's gonna do for us. Um, um, as thou hast sent me into the world, even so have I also sent into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also might be sanctified with the truth. So, with the truth, man. Thank- Uh, neither pray I for thee alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word. Oh, neither pray I for these alone, but for them also which shall believe on me through their word, man. Yeah, through their word. And imagine that. Imagine you found a way to the light, and you're able to bring others to the light through the same word that you were given. Through the same good, same thing. Okay, if there is that's wonderful. That's an amazing thing. It says here, um, 21, that they all may be one, as the Father art in me, and I am you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Also that the world know that the Lord has sent them. Man, it also says that as well as say every knee shall bow. Everything is going to be made subject unto the Lord. Everyone is going to be able to see him. They're going to be able to know him. But they're only going to know him through Alashadja, you know. We're able to see him as you know as a father. You know, we have that fear towards him, but he sees us and he sees his son, and that's how we make ourselves ready. You know that, and that's the goal, right? You know, if you when the Lord looks at us, he wants to see his son. It says, "And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one, even as we are one. I am them, and thou in me, that they may be perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me, and hast loved them as thou lovest me." Come on, man. So the world is gonna know that that the Lord loves us, the children of Israel, and the Lord loves Yahushua, and that we love Yahushua. Yahweh loves Yahushua, and Yahweh's gonna loves us as well, and everything is gonna be perfect. That is the straight line, man. That's the order. That's the way that the Lord set it up. That's how He's gonna do it. It don't get no better than that. Because it also speaks about that in Wisdom of Solomon. It says, actually, let me just grab, it's kind of changing the gear a little bit, but we can go ahead and grab that real quick. It says, so the world may know, right? So the world may know. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, such as Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. Uh, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in arisen, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor, man. So that's what the world say about us. The world thinks us less than all these other nations. All these nations see as less than us. They see us as anything but human. You know, they set up systems in place to oppress our people, and then once we get caught up in the system, they still spit at us like they're not the ones that set up the system. Going through hell for 350 years to somewhat get just a crumb of what we thought was the American life, for them to just to strip it straight away and to still get oppressed for it, and to have to work backwards. And working backwards, who wants to do that, man? That's why the Lord have to. He has to intervene, because all these things are meant to gaslight. It's meant to gaslight you into thinking that there's not systems in place against you. That all of it is just in the past and it's in your head. And and that's when the world is gonna know. The world is gonna know that these are the people, same ones that you set up laws against. That sundown towns, sundown towns for that you wrongly convicted, continuously set up stereotypes against, continuously setting up traps for, and justifying it, all because they have the power to do so. All they have the power to do so. So the Lord is going to show the world that the Lord loved Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah loved us. That's going to be the biggest aha, that we're loved, and that we're cherished, and that we're looked after, and not the BS religions that they set up, to deter us away from the truth. And that's why you see so many people leaving Christianity and getting away from it. They realize that that's not the way to life. It's not. It never has. They may think that's the way of life, maybe for them, but no, man, 100% not. This is back at the John chapter 17, verse 24. Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am. I'm gonna read that again. It says, Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundation of the world. So even before the foundation of this world, man. One that we see, the one I'm currently looking at, are also teaching. And look how beautiful this place is. You see that? You see birds flying, birds chirping. You see all of this? Even before the foundation of all of this, man, before the foundation of all of this, he said Yahweh Shai was love. I mean, he's love. He's love before the foundation of the earth. Love before the foundation of the earth, man. Verse 25, O righteous Father, the world have not known thee, but I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me. God, man. So we know that the Lord sent Yahweh Shai. We know that. And the world, no, man, they don't know. They don't know. We ask them, okay, what's the Lord's name? What's the Messiah's name? Yeshua. I don't want to say these other names because it's false names. All these different names that's not his true name. All of these, man, it's less than nothing, man. Those other names mean nothing to him. It's all about Yahweh Shai, which is the Messiah's name, and Yahweh, which is the Father's name. It says, O righteous Father, the world have not known thee, but I have known thee, and these have known that thou hast sent me. Come on, man. So we know that the Lord has sent him. He sent him, sent Yahweh Shai to deliver us from ourselves, to give us grace, to quicken us, to give us life. That's what we know. Um, it says, and I have declared unto them thy name, and will declare it, that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them, and I in them. So it's the same way that like he said in John, where he said, as we are one, as Yahweh Shai and Yahweh are one, is the same way that we're going to be one in love and spirit when it comes back. And it says, I have declared unto them that name. So he declared unto us his name. And to declare that the love wherewith thou hast loved me may be in them and I in them. So that same exact love that Yahweh has for Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai has for us, and Yahweh is going to have for us as well. So it's the perfect setup. Um, the perfect setup, the perfect approach. Everything likes to be, everything is compared to a movie because that's what it is. It's a movie that we're living, and the movie is just 10 times better because we know we win. We know we win in the end. That we also win now. So that mindset that we have is continuously rejoicing that we know that we have Him, that we have that same love that was given from Yahweh to Yahweh Shai Yahweh Shai, before the foundation of this world, man, the foundation of this world. Before then, man, that Yahweh loved Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh loves us as much as He loves Yahweh Shai because we are in the Son, and we all are in unison now. Man, it's a beautiful thing, man, to have that, to have Yahweh Shai, to be able to um, have the Lord, and for him to tell us that He has us, and that we're gonna be one in Him as He's one in Yahweh. Oops. Um, let me see. Let me grab this. This is the book of Romans, 12, 13, 14. This is the book of Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe. So our salvation is nearer than we believe, man. Like we knew that, we were in the end times, starting with Yahweh Shah coming, being able to fulfill the prophecy and be able to fulfill the law, you know. He came to fulfill. And from that point on, for going forward, that's when the Lord started his process of redemption because we needed Yahweh Shai. So once we got Yahweh Shai, that's when he started the process of redemption. And that process it's been happening in the span of in the lens of the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai. It doesn't seem like it's been that long because their clock is completely different from our clock because we have the sun and moon, and that slows down time in our realm. But when it comes to him, he's completely outside of that. And it says 1,000 years is as a day to the Lord. So 2,000 years ago, that's been 2 days. So um, knowing that, knowing that, and that the Lord started that process. So what we perceive to be so long ago, that's how we know that it's time for us to wake out of sleep. Put on your garments, man. Turn back. Repent. The Lord, he's coming back. He's coming to fulfill his promise and to make sure that he's delivering on that promise. Because the Lord told us about how we're all one in him, and he's given his word unto his chosen, so his chosen can also gather other chosen. It says, the night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. So we put on the armor of light and we cast off the things of darkness because what, man? The Lord is nothing but light, Prince of Light, uh, the chief cornerstone, man, the chief priest. He's everything. He's all in one. He conquered death itself. He conquered the world, conquered the flesh, and through that, man, we're able to be one again. Be able to be one with Him. It says, "Let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting, drunkenness, not in chamber, wantonness, not in strife and envying, but put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shah, and make not provisions for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, because such things are coming to man, but through him we have a way of escape. We have a way of escape through everything. Only thing we do is just trust in him and make sure that he's, you know, that we trust in him, trust in his words. We continue to follow after his light, you know, because we understand, because once it's all good though. But yeah, but this will be my last scripture, and then I'm gonna close it out. So after this, I want to get that in Galatians. Let me grab that in Galatians. About carve out and $2. This is the book of Galatians, Ephesians, okay, Ephesians 2 and 5. Actually, verse 4. Let's start at verse 4. This is Ephesians 2 and 1. And you have he quickened who were dead in trespass and sins, where in times past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of power of the air, the spirit now worketh in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and of the nature of the children of wrath, even as others. So even though us as he quickened through us being times past uh, influenced by the flesh, but now he's made us alive and he made us self-aware of the flesh. He made us self-aware of ourselves, right? It says, but Yahweh, who is rich in mercy, for his great love, whereof he loved us. He said, his great love, where he loved us, even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us together with Yahweh Shai. By grace, ye are saved. So he's quickened us together with Yahweh Shai, um, so we could all be one. So we could all be fulfilled. So the things of the scriptures can be fulfilled. 12,000 out of each tribe. Being able to have the seal of our power in our foreheads, to be able to I think it's Ezekiel 38, to stand on our feet, a great exceeding army. Um and have raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahweh Shah. So the Lord has made us sit in heavenly places um, with Yahweh Shah soon, and that we could be where Yahweh Shah is. It's the goal, man, to be where Yahweh Shah is. Uh, I guess I can end it off on there. Uh, let's see. Uh, this one. Actually, no, two more verses. That in the ages to come, he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness towards us through Yahweh Shai, his kindness towards us through Yahweh Shai. Um, see how everything's tying back to Yahweh Shai? That's why it's important to know Yahweh Shai, and it's important to know Yahweh, because without Yahweh Shai, we couldn't get to Yahweh. Without Yahweh sending Yahweh Shai, we couldn't have a way back to him. Um, for by grace are ye saved through the faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh, man. Ultimate gift to be able to have salvation and be able to turn back to him. But yeah, man. Uh, but yeah, so that's a beautiful thing to be able to have Yahweh Shai, to have him and turn back to him, and to be one as the Father and the Son are all one, to be joined together, all together, um, to be in unison. That's the beauty about the truth and life and being quickened. So I hope that was edifying. I'm going to close it out, giving all praises and glory to Yahweh. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Harakar Kodash, Mahabaf, and Shalom. Until the next one, coming from Orlando.